Introducing the one, the only, Alvaro Perez, or as you may know him, Marcus. Today we will be listening in on a sonata Marcus previously wrote. It will be covering the three movements of Marcus's family and friends, hobbies and interest, and his future plans. Let's get to the performance, shall we? Building to the first 5 notes of Marcus's life is Marcus's family. We have Marcus's dad, Alvaro, who lives in Bellevue with his girlfriend. And then in the middle, of course, is Marcus. He lives currently in Council Bluffs, Iowa on his own. On the other side of Marcus, we have Areti, his sister, who currently is in Iowa City attending the University of Iowa. Marcus's mom, Amy, lives in Redland, California with his brother, Ricky, who he visits during the summer. Some of Marcus's friends include Daxon, Abe, Ben, and Chris. They all love to hang out, and as you can tell, they all also play instruments. They love hanging out and practicing together. Now let's take a break and have a curtain call as we go into Marcus's hobbies and interests. Some of Marcus's hobbies and interests include going to get his favorite honeydew boba drink as he's cruising along and finding places to look and maybe even stargaze at night. Doesn't that sound relaxing? Next, more of Marcus's hobbies and interests include hanging out with friends and practicing his instruments. Other than the violin, Marcus also practices the guitar. Anytime Marcus has any free time, he is usually practicing his instruments. Marcus says it is just as important to practice your instruments, to practice things that you are familiar with, to keep in mind, but it's just as important to forget things, to have space in your mind for new music. Now let's tune on back into the performance as we head to Marcus's future plans. Some of Marcus's future plans include going to college for music and performance and attending the University of Iowa, while helping his family renovate houses and spreading wisdom and philosophy. To Marcus, it is very important to tell the truth, and I couldn't agree more. Later in the future, Marcus hopes to be in a symphony or an orchestra and be just as great as Paganino, a very revolutionary violinist. Now remember that you all got to meet Marcus Perez before he got famous. And keep that in mind as we come to the conclusion of our performance. Throughout this performance, we have gone over Marcus's family and friends, hobbies and interests, and his future goals. Now let's give a round of applause for the one and only Marcus.